to speed up getting referrals from medical doctors, as it can be a great avenue as a holistic health practitioner to be attracting a flow of patients into your practice through medical doctor referrals and other provider referrals. But one of you wrote in, I'm not sure what MDs need to hear to consider referring to holistic approaches. Given MDs have limited time during the workday, I'm not sure how to get my info to them. So you're not alone with this question, and I'm going to be answering it in this today. So this is Chen Yen, your 6 and 7 figure practice makeover mentor at Introverted Visionary, where we help holistic health practitioners, visionaries who would love to be growing their practices in a way that feels fulfilling and helps more people, while also growing to even 6 figures and 7 figures the introverted way. And so how can you speed up getting referrals from medical doctors? And this comes from my years of experience working in different settings with medical doctors, in the outpatient setting, in the hospital setting, also having seen the insides of the FDA and Merck, having a sense of what gets doctors to be interested in referring and what doesn't. MDs have thousands of patients in their practices, and many would be willing to refer if they knew about you and how you could help their patients. Some won't refer, but some will refer. And so how can we have more of those people who would be willing to refer actually refer? Let me address one part of this question that was sent in to me ahead of time. So I'm not sure how to get my info to them, given MDs have limited time during the workday. And that's true. Many times medical doctors are pretty busy. They're seeing patients, they're getting pulled in by nurses, they're getting also people who are vendors or is trying to get their attention, drug reps, all kinds of people trying to get their attention. So what would actually make you stand out to them? And, you know, one of the biggest mistakes that I hear from holistic health practitioners about how they try to reach out to a provider is, oh, I think I'll just email them or send them letters. And so this like blast out to a lot of providers in the area with letters, and then wondering, how come very few got back to me, or not really even hearing back, right? So what happens is, when think about, if you let's say you sent a letter, what happens? Well, the gatekeeper in the front desk is there, and then they look at it and they're like, who's this from? I don't really know them. And then they end up going in the trash, essentially, right? And so then your thing might not even get seen by the doctor. If you email the provider, well, maybe you are able to get a hold of their email, maybe you aren't able to. So actually, we have a way of where you are able to get a hold of a medical doctor that we help our clients with, which goes around the gatekeeper. And that way you're not having to be trying to get through to the gatekeeper, right? But in any case, with the email, let's say you don't have their email, you may not have a way of getting their email. And then let's say you do have their email. So what are you going to actually say to them, right? Aside from, oh, I want to introduce myself to you, and I'm in the area, and then I could be of help to your patients. Like, sure, that's what they hear probably from a lot of other people who are also interested in developing a collaborative relationship to, mutually support their patients. And so how could you set yourself apart? So one way that's been working really well for our clients to speed up getting doctor referrals is this, because it not only is that it's an easier way of getting someone's attention, because you're able to provide value to them in something that they would want to know about. It's not just like, hi, I'm here. Yes, so are you, and a lot of other people. And then it is also, when you do connect with them, they end up being able to understand more about how you could help. Because one of the reasons why, even if a doctor knows about you and feels that connection with you, but then they don't refer, is because they don't truly understand the scope of what you could really help their patients with. But then if you're able to educate them about that, and they also get to experience whether they resonate with you, that's going to go so much further than just having a good conversation with them. And so one way of speeding up getting referrals from doctors is to do this. And this is working really well for our clients, which is to essentially educate them about an angle of a topic that would be helpful and interesting for them. And then essentially create what I call one signature talk that you could give to a provider, whether it's one-on-one via Zoom, whether it's one-on-one in person or in a clinic setting. And some of our clients have spoken in front of larger settings too. For example, one of our clients spoke in front of 70 providers and ended up getting 10 patient referrals from that. And then referrals on top of that too. So there's a range of what you could do with that. And so then so this way it helps educate a provider, takes them from not really understanding or being fuzzy about the scope of what you could help their patients with to being clear. And then if they're clear and they're more comfortable with referring, they many of them are concerned about safety and efficacy too. So when they're clear about that, then they're much more likely to refer than if you just had a good conversation and then they pretty much forgot about who is that again? They because they're always getting interest and providers' interest and other kinds of people's interest in reaching out to them. So then instead of them wondering, who is this again? They will remember you for, oh, this is a person who had spoken about this. And then they will also associate with you with being an expert in that topic or knowledgeable in that topic. And so this is one great way to speed up getting referrals from providers if you're open to educating them. So one of the biggest things that I hear here at this point is like, yeah, but I feel kind of intimidated. What if I am not able to answer their questions? And so what I would say is that typically if you can come up with one good angle of a topic and you know as much about that topic you're going to be speaking about, then you won't feel as intimidated because you're more prepared. And that's what many of our clients have said is when they feel prepared, they don't feel intimidated. And then as far as needing to know, be able to answer every single question. Guess what? Medical doctors don't know the answer to every single question there is either, right? It's just a matter of how you can navigate that situation so you come across confident. And if you want to look into something for them, you let them know you look into it for them. Right. And so you don't have to have all the answers. You just need to feel confident with what you could educate them on. And this can and you being more prepared can make you more confident. Having a framework of what to say helps too, because it's not only about educating the providers. There's a difference between just simply educating the providers versus being able to educate and have it translate into patients as well. One of our clients, a naturopathic doctor, she used to have opportunities to educate providers and medical doctors in the conventional world too. But even though she educated and the providers found it helpful, she wouldn't necessarily get referrals for her practice. So it was a matter of being able to weave certain things into what she was saying that ended up translating into referrals. And once we did that, she ended up getting referrals in the next opportunity she got. So that is really important too. And then having an approach to where you're able to get referrals sooner rather than later, and then having a system in place that supports ongoing referrals. So if you're at a place where you would love to get help with getting this in place, because you could see the benefit of, basically like if you even had 3 providers sending you 1 or 2 referrals a week, what would that do for the practice? It adds up. And so it's one of the few approaches that you can get in place, and they could be referring 3 months from now, a year from now, without you constantly having to do new marketing or spending money on ads or posting constantly on social media or spending money on SEO constantly and having money going out the door. It's one of the few approaches where you don't have to be doing that once you end up getting referrals coming into the practice. And so I would say most practitioners don't end up going there. Like they either consider it as like, oh, that would be nice to do, and then they never get around to doing it, or they try and then it doesn't seem like it's working, so then they just think, oh, maybe it doesn't work. But the truth is that it does work. We have clients who have full practices mainly just from provider referrals. In fact, one of our clients just wrote in an acupuncturist, and she's been in practice for over 26 years, and she's had her highest number of patients in a week. And a big contributing factor of that is medical doctor referrals. So there's a range of what you could do with this. And we have clients who are therapists. We have clients who are functional medicine practitioners, health coaches, also chiropractors, and other holistic health practitioners as well. So it's totally doable. Having a system that supports this can be really helpful. So if you would love to have If you would love to have help with putting this in place in your practice, then feel free to reach out to us at introvertedvisionary.com and book a free call with us. More than happy to see how we could help you with getting this going in your practice and a system in place that supports referrals coming from medical doctors. You could do this using the strategy that I just mentioned to you, which helps speed up getting doctor referrals. But we also have strategies we help our clients with that don't involve educating the providers by speaking also. So this strategy for you is for those of you who want to speed up the process much faster. So there are two ways to get help from us with this. One is through an approach that doesn't involve educating providers by speaking. And that is through the Consistent Patients Makeover Mentorship for Introverts. And that's for those of you who are making between $5,000 to $20,000 a month is a sweet spot for that. So we will be putting 5 steps in place of the Consistent Patients formula for introverts, where the third step is getting the phone ring step. And one of the 2 approaches to doing that is getting referrals from medical doctors. So that's one approach. And then the other approach to help with getting referrals and going in the practice so that you're busier with patients is in your practice is through our 6-figure speaking makeover mentorship for introverts. And that's perfect for you if you either are someone who is working at another job right now and would like to be in your practice more full time, or it's for you if you're already in practice and you would just like to have an avenue that brings in patients more consistently without having to do tons of different kinds of marketing all the time, because that can feel really exhausting. And you like the idea of being a part of educating providers so that people know about holistic health options out there. And then it's also great for you if you have a desire to grow in your practice. Like you're pretty busy but you're at that point where you would like to be growing your practice more, especially thinking about hiring an associate within this upcoming year to see patients for you. But although you have a way of being busy, you don't have a predictable way of keeping an associate busy, and it's keeping you from pulling the trigger and hiring someone because you're afraid that if you hire someone, then they're not going to be busy enough, and then you won't be able to cover them, and so it won't really work out that way. So you're concerned about that. Or maybe you already hired the associate and you're having a hard time keeping them busy, and you'd like the idea of educating providers and really start sparking the change that way. Then the 6-figure speaking makeover mentorship for introverts can be great for you. We're just going to focus on one thing. We're just going to focus on getting one signature talk in place that you could give to providers. Again, whether in that one-on-one setting, in a clinic setting, or even in a larger setting where you're making a greater impact by educating and reaching more providers at once. There could be different kinds of providers. You could be educating, whether it's nurse practitioners, PAs, whether it's PTs, whether it's DOs, or other kinds of conventional practitioners. It could also be other holistic practitioners, and making a difference that way and educating them more about the scope of what you could really help support patients with. So those are the two routes that we could help you in really having success with this and grow your practice to one that you're really proud of and that's fulfilling and makes good money too. So I can't wait to talk to you. I can't wait to help you with this, and to you helping more people who really could benefit from your care. And, many of those providers have patients who could really benefit from what you have to offer to them. More and more people are asking for other options outside of drugs and surgery. And it's up to you to educate providers so they actually understand and know that there are options out there they could be sharing with their patients. And so I can't wait to help you with this. And together, let's wake up the planet with more people asking for holistic options and see that holistic options become first line of care in this country and is mainstream in this country. So see you soon. Go to introvertedvisionary.com, book a free call, and look forward to helping you.